Lesson 2.1, Mental Math. Find sums and differences. Now, the key thing to think about when we're talking about this is that this is mental math. This is math that we want to try to do in our head, but we're going to show how we do it in our head on the paper. So, before we can get started with that, we need to talk about some really important key terms. The first key term is the word sum. Sum is just a fancy word for add. So whenever I see the word sum, I know I'm going to be adding. The other fancy word that we're going to be looking at is difference. This key word means to subtract. Whenever I see the word difference, I know that I'm going to be using a subtraction symbol. We're going to talk about two different strategies. So first we're going to talk about the addition strategy, the sum. Second, we will talk about the difference strategy. We want to find 3,728 plus 2,420. This looks very daunting. It is two very large numerals, but we're going to be able to break these down. Let's add these down. So first we're going to do that by breaking up the add-ins. We're going to break up each digit by expanding it, by stretching that number out. So let's look at our highest place value to start with. We have 3,000. Nice start there. Maybe if my pen will work, there we go. 3,000 plus, let's look at our other thousands place right here. Wow, that's 2. And I know if I'm expanding it, everything else is going to turn into big fat zeros. So right there, I already know that in my thousands place, I'm going to have 5,000. Because 3 plus 2 is 5. And there are 3 zeros following my place value, so I put my 3 zeros following that. Next, I'm going to cross out what I just used so I don't get confused. I'm going to look in my hundreds place value. I have 700 and I have 400. So let's take that together. 700 plus 400 equals, well, 7 plus 4 is 11. And then I'm going to add 2 zeros because I know there are 2 zeros. And I know my zeros are going to go in my ones place and my tens place. And then my 11. My next value is going to be in my tens place. I have a 2 in my tens and another 2 in my tens. So if I stretch that out, it's going to be 20 plus 20. I don't know 20 plus 20 off the top of my head, but I do know that 2 plus 2 is 4, and I'm going to have 1 0 in my ones place. So if I put that there, and then I can put my 4 right next to it, that leaves my ones place to add, which would just be 8 plus 0. Ooh, that's the identity property. Anything plus 0 is the same number. Ooh, that's a really good property right there. Love that property. So the identity property tells me that 8 plus 0 is going to be 8. Now that I have all of these numbers lined up in the correct place value, I'm going to add them together. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8. Well, that's going to be an 8. 0 plus 0 plus 4. There's nothing here, but what's invisible is a 0. So I can either write a 0 there if I want, or I can leave it blank. I just have to know that there's an invisible 0 there, even if I can't see it. Same thing here. 0 plus 1. Right here, there are 2 invisible zeros. I'm not going to write them on this column. I'm just going to do 1 plus 0 I know is 1. And I move finally into my thousands place, which is 5 plus 1. And there's some invisible zeros here, so I know 5 plus 1 is 6. Very good. My sum is 6,148. Ooh, I forgot to put in my comma. A little trick to remember where to put your comma in if you're not really good with your place value yet is to say this little rhyme. I think of it like I'm dancing. I start with my smallest value and I go 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. And that's how I find my thousands place. Let's try a difference strategy, a subtraction strategy down below. This time, I'm going to take 40,000 subtracting 7,985. So let's write that down. 40,000 subtract 7,985. Okay, that is a very large number, and zeros can be difficult to subtract. So let's go ahead and find a way to use compensation. So we're going to get close to it. So I'm going to use my rounding skills that I learned in my lesson, in my last unit, my last topic. This is already rounded for us. We have nice zeros here. Let's round this. If I round and I say my rhyme, 5 or above, give it a shove, I know that 7 is going to become an 8 because 9 is 5 or above. I also know from my rounding unit that everything else is going to become big fat zeros. I'm going to use my trick to put my comma in. 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. Okay, 40,000 take away 8,000 seems much more doable. And I can just count back 40, take away 8. So 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. So 32 is going to be my digit. And then I have 3 zeros that will follow. 32,000. Now I'm just close. I'm not exact yet, so I need to get a little bit closer. Since I subtracted 15 too many, I have to add 15 to my answer. So if I look here, 85, well, I know that 85 plus 10 is 95, and 95 plus 5 more is 100, which would give me up to 8,000. So I'm going to have to subtract 15. So 32,000, or sorry, I'm going to have to add 15. 32,000 plus 15. I'm so sorry, I said that incorrectly. I'm adding 15 to my answer, and I'm going to get 32,015. This is one way to use compensation to find a difference for a problem that you have revolving around math. This was lesson 2.1.